Hello and welcome to today's video. In today's video, one large box, second larger box to unbox and to equip some of those parts onto the E92 M3. Now, before we go on ahead, 2,802 subscribers as of today. So the 26th of March. Now, I think this weekend I'm going to upload a POV drive and I'm going to try my best to get this up the following weekend. But I'm definitely going to be busy, and the word busy might even be an understatement. So how about we unbox this, check out the parts, and then I will tell you more about them. I think here we have a first glimpse at what I have ordered. So here, part number one, we are going to get to it in a sec. Part number two. And now the huge box, which is, I guess, to be expected. And here is our remaining part. Let's start with the smaller parts. One thing I have to say is that my hands feel very dusty in a weird way after unboxing this from the bubble wrap. But to unbox this, we're just going to use some force because we don't want to scratch up the carbon parts. Like so. I can already see it. It's coming out. And it is here. So hopefully you can see this is one of the splitters for the rear bumper. Okay, so overall, few things to highlight. First off, it is very light. Now usually those carbon fiber parts, this was ordered from China. I'll get to this entire topic now in a sec, but this feels genuinely light, like really light. I'm guessing that there's still some support, but there are kind of joints in places where I would prefer not to have joints, but you're not going to be able to see them, and let me show you why. Now, so hopefully this is focused. This part right here, which I will be showing you, is the part that essentially stands out from the bumper. Now, the joints are literally right here, which is sort of on the kind of edge, which isn't going to be visible, but if you will know it's there, and if you are going to be looking for it, you're still not going to be able to see it until you actually go and look under the car, because it's like right at the very bottom. Now let me get this in focus. I'm not sure how many carbon pieces they used in order to form this entire part, but there are joints. Let me focus this. There are joints right here, which are on the inside. There are joints right there. Again, like I haven't worked with carbon, so I cannot really comment on it to tell you if there should be so many joints. You can see that there are kind of little distortions in carbon, but this is kind of normal as you work towards the edge. So you can see this kind of weird looking carbon concentration around the edge compared to the carbon that is right here. Now, this is all not going to be visible, so this part is looking a-okay. But now, I've spoken about this already, but I'm gonna say it again. A lot of those parts you are buying from all those other stores and paying about 2, 3, 4 times the price of what I've paid for come directly from China. The only difference is the suppliers. So you will see that a single part is advertised, let's say 50 times. Now, I'm guessing, my assumptions are that there are only 3 or 4 factories which those suppliers get their items from. So a lot of the times, the ads that you're seeing, the actual items come from the direct source, so it's the same source, but there are better manufacturers and there are worse manufacturers. So I guess it's just the process of finding out the best manufacturer for the part. To be honest with you, the only way to do it and be 100 million% sure is to actually order the part from all of them, check it out, see if it's any good. If you were to sell those parts, this is what you should be doing. But if you are someone who likes to order one part just for myself. The best thing to do is to look at reviews, if the company employs many people, the turnover, all of the business information, to know that the business is legit, the business is booming, and people are actually buying the parts and, you know, thinking that it's a good quality. So reviews, photo reviews especially, and consider all of those things. So let me rip into this part now. Now, in this part, very similar, there is a hole here, which leaves me to believe that it is some sort of hole for the mold. Maybe it is there to kind of fill in this part with some gel in order to strengthen it. But looking at this carbon part, there are definitely a lot more imperfections on this, but definitely on the edge that we are seeing, there aren't as many imperfections. Now, there is one thing which I do not like. So this is going to be visible, and I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see, but this black line here is marker. So this here is permanent marker. I'm not sure whether it's on the kind of top coating of this resin or whatever it is, this varnish, but we may possibly be able to get rid of it. It kind of feels like it's on the surface, so I'll investigate that. And then kind of similar thing around the edges. They have used marker. Now, why have they used the marker? Have they used the marker to kind of hide what's behind it, those further imperfections? I have just stabbed myself, but let's kind of ignore this and keep going. Now, this part is something which I already have. It's in, I want to say, sort of a poor condition, so I decided to reorder it in order to keep the build clean. So right after unboxing, let me just give you things that I've spotted right away without even taking a closer look. First off, quality control passed. That's nice. Now, the insides, you can see that they are kind of ghetto. Like, it could fit. It could be a really good fit, but just the things that you don't see when this is applied onto the bumper, they don't really look the greatest. The edges, I'm definitely going to have to grab something like a file and kind of file down this edge just so this doesn't, I guess, scratch up the bumper. Either way, there's going to be tape in between those. And I'm actually going to bring my other diffuser, which I have upstairs, so we can compare. Now, I was sent photos and videos of this done, and I'll have to double check. I'm gonna put in a video, but I think that the video they sent me, those tabs had holes in them. So supposedly they have sent me a finished product, yet it appears that the finished product is different to what I'm holding, which I'm kind of curious about. Now, let me take a closer look to see if this is any good and if there are any other kind of remarks I have about this. Now, I know that this is handmade by a human being, but, you know, I've spotted some imperfections that are in places which I would prefer them, and I'm pretty sure you would prefer them not to be there. So first off, along the bumper, or along where the bumper is, I'm not sure if you can tell, but there is a white line coming from underneath. Again, you'll be able to see this. Now, going along this entire bumper, you can see that there is this kind of black marker there along the edge, which again, like, it isn't ideal. Again, I have a black car. This is going to be hidden well. It's going to blend in, but, you know, that's not something that I would want to, I guess, receive. So here, for example, look at this imperfection. Well, imperfection. Look at this carbon stretch right here. They could have done it, you know, a different way, because this is very visible. I mean, it's going to show you, or at least it's going to tell you that it is like real carbon fabric. But again, like, why here? Going along, like, there are so many of those kind of places where there are kind of imperfections in places where you don't want them to be, like right here. Like, it's just, again, hard to get a close up, but like right here, it's not even carbon, it's like a carbon weave tear right here. Again, like, this, not bad. This, if it was in a store and if I was to see it up close, I would not purchase it because again, I don't think that I was even shown the item that I was sent. Now, so this is the other rare diffuser. It is very dusty. So even if I show you up close, you can see the amount of dust on it. But you can see that it was well used. Burnt tips, it's something that we're gonna have to watch out for. And I'll have to think of something so we don't end up with our rare diffuser looking like this. Now, as I'm opening this, I'm not gonna lie, bigger piece, more places that things can go wrong. So I'm curious to see what this looks like. I'm actually genuinely really curious to see. Now let me actually open this up a little since the parts are slightly bigger, and let's tear into them. Now, side number one. As I was opening this up, I was really surprised by the lack of imperfections on the actual, part that's actually sticking out of the car. What's really cool, kinda, is that some holes, they look to be pre-drilled, but in reality, inside, I can already tell and see that there is something like gypsum in there. Now, the fact that they are kind of filled in with something for support is fair enough because this is a big enough of a piece. And now, genuinely, after taking a closer look, this is probably the best carbon part we got so far. Very minimum amount of imperfections, even though it's the bigger piece. Now, you can't say that it's the simplest piece, but they can clearly do it. And I'm back after being interrupted, and what I was showing you was the following. So now the only reason why this piece is worse than the other one is because this kind of join, it goes in the middle, slightly at the upper level, so closer towards kind of your eyesight compared to down below where you can't see it. Now here you can see a bit of black line or a bit of white line, and again, little bits and pieces of marker. You can see right here that it's definitely a lot more visible. Again, I'm not sure if it appears on video, but there is a white line going along here. So the conclusion is, if they will try, they can clearly do it well. But unfortunately, this is not how things go over there. Now, is this still all right? Yes, it is. Are those little guys all right? Yes, they are. Is this rare diffuser all right? Yes and no. Again, it depends what you're looking for. Eventually, I will want to order something else, and again, like I kind of want to be changing up my build to find the best parts that will suit my build. So I guess this is it for the actual unboxing. Next clip, you're going to see me actually applying those parts onto the car. And now it is time for part 2. Now we are in the middle of nowhere, some business center that is currently up and coming, and we are going to put on the carbons onto the car. Now in this video, I think we are going to do the side skirts, and then in the next video, we are going to do the rear diffuser and the rear splitters, mainly because it makes more sense for editing and me getting this video out on time. I think I got all of my tools because we are about 30-minute drive from home, maybe a little longer, so it wouldn't be ideal if we are missing something. So I made a list yesterday and I think I got everything, but we are going to find out as we go through this video, I guess. Ignore the hair, I definitely have to get a haircut, but we've got more important things to take care of and priorities. So we're gonna start off with side skirts, and anybody that took off a side skirt on an E90X knows how big of a pain in the ass this is to remove, because in the E46, those little plastic pegs used to be slightly bigger and they wouldn't break, where here, this is very, very fragile, which I honestly hate taking off. So as long as we're gonna take this off, we are going to be fine, or at least we should be. And since we are on a bit of an incline, we need to find a rock to put it under the rear wheel. Now, obviously, I can turn the car around, but it would be obviously a lot quicker just to get a fucking rock, which there are a bunch of ants on there. Well, I don't think we're using this rock. Let me try to find something else. Or maybe I can just, kick those off. Nope, they're not heading off, so yeah, let me go and explore, find some rock. I don't have a good history with those decors, whatever you want to call them, so I'm gonna use a rag and try to do my best not to snap the little plastic pieces. So I know where those are, so let me kind of pull it. And here we go. Now, any casualties? We have not broke any ourselves, which is nice to know. I'm definitely gonna end up leaving those for the end because I do have to unscrew it from the bottom. I will undo the bottom fastener and show you how it looks. Hopefully you can see right here. So they are not pull out, although I have seen people just pull them out, but they are threaded. And at the back there looks to be also an 8mm. I found that the best way of doing them is just to pry the actual side skirt. And then this is gonna come out. Now, something you don't know, I bought an entire new side skirt, well, new used, that's 100% fine, which is going to be repainted because we are actually going to be replacing this side skirt. I think we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, but I will show you the reason why we are replacing this. But first off, I actually need to remove it fully. And here we go. So the side skirt is right here, and as you can see, there is a bit of a scuff right here. It is actually pretty bad in my opinion. Again, I want to keep this car in pristine condition, so this is the main reason why I decided to get a new side skirt, which we are going to be putting on whenever we are going to be painting the hood, front bumper. We're also going to do the same thing to rear bumper, but more on that when that comes. But after taking it out, I'm actually pretty happy that I made this decision because I'm not sure how you can tell, but there is a bit of a paint cracking happening right here. And I'm fully aware that this side skirt has been repainted mainly because of this, but you can see that this damage is coming out. Let's test the fitment. I am going to use a bit of tape just to position it, but I am going to be using bolts and nuts. But you are able to do this on the car with self-tappers. I've done that in the past, but the main reason why I am doing this off the car is so I can make this side skirt conform better to this lip. So if I'm going to push this up, probably you cannot tell even if I'm going to be holding it like this, but the fitment, once I'm going to use some bolts and nuts, it is going to be ideal from what I can see. Since we know that the side skirt lip thing fits, the plan of action is as following. First off, we're going to drill the holes. Hopefully you can see that every so often there is this little kind of bulge. We're going to be using those to mount the carbon lip to the actual side skirt. We're not going to be using every single bulge. Again, I've done this before with self-tappers. Like, self-tappers will be sufficient, but I'm gonna do this in like the best way possible. I'm not sure how well this is going to work, but since I do not want to be cracking any of the, I guess, varnish on the actual side skirt, either underneath or on top, I am going to apply some painter's tape or masking tape in order to hopefully mitigate the cracking. Again, I'm not sure how well it is going to work, but hopefully it's gonna do the trick. Ooh, that is so fucking hot! Oh. Don't do this. I don't recommend doing this. Now let's step it up to 4mm. It's probably warm. I'm not gonna touch that again. I've already prepped the second side skirt lip, and I got some info that my bro is coming. So since he is coming, I am going to use him a little with mounting the carbon lip to the actual side skirt. Although I did bring some tape just so I could do this job alone, but if an extra pair of hands is coming, I'm not gonna say no. And unfortunately that isn't him. It is literally some guy that I think is on his 10th lap of this business park thing, so I don't know what he's doing. But yeah, let's proceed with removing of this side skirt, and I'll let you know if anything eventful is gonna happen. But this side, essentially the same side as the other side, except this side has some snacks right there, so I might have a bit of a break. Another door trim piece removed successfully without breaking anything, which I'm super happy about because I don't have a good relationship with this kind of job. But yeah, we're almost off with this side skirt. And now taking a quick look at this side skirt, you can see that there is a bit of, I guess, damage right here. Now this was not repainted as far as I know, but it looks like somebody has applied a little bit of black paint just to mask those. Now we will either replace this side skirt, repaint it, or there's actually a little bit right here, or we are just going to go on ahead and repaint this and put a bit of a Bondo on it. But again, I want to avoid using Bondo on this car as much as possible. Therefore, I think we're just going to get a new side skirt, sell this on because this is still 100% good, and somebody else can, you know, do a little Bondo job. Because really, like, if you take a look, it's nothing. It's not super flush. Like, you can definitely feel the little grooves, but it's nothing super scary. So we also went ahead and wiped down the door sills just so they're a little cleaner, even though they're going to be hidden by the side skirt. Doesn't matter, they are cleaner now, which is always good. So I think our helper is on his way, although he did not bring an M3. Why did he not bring an M3? I was hoping to wait for him and to record his M3 entrance, but he brought in an A3. I think his alphabet got slightly mixed up, but he's here now. So helping hands have arrived. My brother also has an M3, information on the screen, but since he is here, we are going to do it as follows. So he's gonna hold on one side, I'm gonna hold on the other side. I'm gonna take my drill bit, I'm gonna drill through with the smallest drill bit I have. Once I've drilled through with the smallest drill bit, I'm gonna go up and drill through without the actual carbon side skirt lip thing. This has to be done correctly. Now I do have hardware pieces on each side, and we're gonna attach the side skirt on both ends to keep it stable. I'm gonna put the hardware through so it's ready, and we're gonna match up the holes. So there is a bit of a short problem. Let me explain. So I've measured the actual bolts, and I had over half of length after they were to go through the carbon piece. But they're too short. We're like 30-minute drive from home. So I think our only solution for now is to zip tie this, because again, we need to get home somehow. I'm obviously going to redo it, and I will show it in the video where I'll be mounting the rear diffuser and the rear splitters. For you, it's going to be the week after this video, but for me, I'm literally going to do those up, get home, and then probably tomorrow or even today replace those zip ties. But as much as I don't like this, there's no other way of going about it. Let me show you what we've got so far. Now, I will redo those. Don't worry about it. I will. Here, we were not able to fit washers at all. Here, I was able to squeeze one. Here, I was able to squeeze one. No washers right here. And then here, we've used zip ties. Now, surprisingly, those zip ties are holding the side skirt lip too well. I'm surprised with how well they are holding it. All right, so it is finally the time. Now, you will get to see it first, since obviously I'm too close to actually see what it's gonna look like. So let's get to fitting this on. Okay, so let me take a look. Now I have to say, this is looking already so much better. A lot more aggressive compared to the standard look because of the front lip. I'm really digging the look of it. And I have to say that fitment, the fitment is so good. And the zip ties, WD-40 and tape, I don't think there are 3 better tools than those. But yeah, we're definitely gonna get home, and to be honest, we could get away with going around on zip ties, but we're gonna definitely end up replacing this. I've remembered that I have to go to the hardware store to get some bigger hardware, so it's probably gonna have to be left till Monday or Tuesday. We are going to do the rear diffuser with the rear side skirts, whatever you want to call them, rear splitters, at home. So still today, but for you, it is going to be in the next video. When it comes to the hardware that we mounted side skirts with, I'm gonna buy longer ones. I'm gonna do it properly. The car fully deserves it, and I don't like leaving things undone and not done properly. Like, it just bothers me at night, and I'm pretty sure a lot of car guys can relate to it. Let me just clean this up slightly. But man, this is looking so good already, and we still got a rear to do, which again, I cannot wait for. But this is going to be the end of this video. You can see that we got a bit of a cleanup to do. The actual ending got corrupted, and I'm actually finishing off my elbow editing the video, but you want to stick around till the next video, because the diffuser, just wait for what happens with the diffuser. But yeah, hope you have enjoyed, hope you're having a great day, and yeah, I wish you the very best of the week. And again, thanks for the support, and to the next one.